In today's video, we're going to be upgrading these Dualshock 4 controllers from having a micro USB charge port to USB-C charge ports. And you can see these are different types of controllers, so they're going to have their own type of hardware to go with it. But I'll show you, once you get inside, you can see exactly what model you need to have for what. I did get these from Norway. There's a website. If you Google it, look for Dualshock 4 USB-C, and it'll pop up. But it was very cheap. Shipping did take a few weeks, but you're not really in a rush when you do this. We'll go ahead and tear it down real quick. It shouldn't take too long. You just have the screws in the back. And then once I do one, I'll probably speed through the other one and show you guys the actual final result. So first step is to take these 4 screws off the back. Once those 4 screws are out, you're gonna pop out the bottom back plate from the top. And the more you take apart your controller, the easier this becomes. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, see, I just have to kind of do that. But if you haven't done this before, then your clips will be a little tighter. So once we do that, we just have to make sure we get the triggers cleared out as well. This trigger does not want to go. There we go. And then we have a ribbon cable, so we'll have to disconnect that. And then the back is free from the front. Now what we're looking for right here is this piece to replace. This is pretty straightforward. We just kind of take this piece right here. Well, I think this one actually you have to unscrew it. This model you don't. So we'll unscrew these 2 screws right here, get that bracket out. We'll just keep this as one thing. And then for this side plate, you kind of just have to tilt it over. It's gonna differ. Probably not actually, yeah, you just kind of peel it back. And then you have some sticky pads, so it might be good to remove those as well. Okay, so we have that out, we have this out. Now this is the piece that we want to go for. You will be reusing this ribbon cable, so make sure not to damage it. And then once that is out, we're going to want to take this tape down. Because at this point, this is the only thing holding it in. And then we can lift this up, and we should be able to shimmy it out. There we go. And that's the micro USB port right there. And as you can see, we're replacing it with this one. So you can see right here, this is a JDS001. So when you're looking for this part, make sure you look up for that actual code. This one right here as well is a JDS001. So we'll go ahead and unplug this ribbon cable, carry it over to the new one. I think this one actually has a clip. There we go. So what I am noticing is that this one is a lot shorter than this one. So when you put the ribbon cable in, there's actually some of the bottom portion here that still sticks out. I don't think that's gonna create an issue, but we'll see. So we'll put that in. The other thing that you're gonna need to do here is shave down this area. Now I don't have a Dremel. It would be nice if I did. But you see that if we wanna plop this down, the holes should align as long as you have clearance to actually put this in. So the holes that you want to keep are these 4 pegs. What you want to shave down, essentially everything else. Okay, after a bunch of whittling, we were able to fit this in. Now it's not clean, and I can't emphasize how much a Dremel will help. But I'm just doing this to show you guys, well, 1, I don't want to buy a Dremel. And 2, you can do this without a Dremel, but it just doesn't look that pretty. But the USB-C is in there, and we can do a quick little test fit just to make sure that it goes in and we're good. So now that this is in, we just continue reassembling. And we're essentially going backwards from what we did. So we have the power right here. We're gonna put this guy right here. We'll pull this back right there, boom. And that's pretty secure. And then once we put this final bracket on, it should all be held in place. I did break a small bracket in here when I was making space. So just make sure you take your time. A sharp knife is useful, but you can damage a lot of stuff. If you have a thick knife, now we can go ahead and reattach the ribbon cable, and then we'll slide the shoulders in. And then while those are in, you just gotta make sure this has clearance. All go back together. Now we won't do the screws just yet. Let's give it some power and see if it charges. Hey, there we go. USB-C, and you saw that light did come on. Now this is fully charged, so it's not gonna charge for long, but plug it right here, and the light goes. Doesn't look the best or the prettiest, but it's functional. I guess I can go back and either make a 3D mold for this or just sand it down to make it look better. Now let's move on to the white controller. So we'll take it apart and then we'll get to the same spot that we were just at. All right, now with the case off, we can go ahead and disassemble this, which is a little easier than the other model. You just pop this right off and then you can push all this out. Of course, you gotta get this little sticky pad out of here. Then you have this piece of tape holding it down, and then we will unscrew the Phillips, and this should just pop right out. There we go. So now we can go ahead and transfer this ribbon cable over to the new one. All right. And now begins the fun work of trimming down this area. Now I did forget that I have some flush cutters, so I'm actually gonna use that. It'll probably make my job a lot easier. And it looks like this USB-C port is a little longer, so we might have to trim out. We'll see. So our trimming is done, and of course it's not the prettiest. And I did end up using the knife more than the flush cutters because it just works out a lot better to get in the small hole. But this does sit in there pretty well, and the old screw holes are still accessible. So we just push that in, and then the USB-C slot sits just like that. Just make sure it's still accessible. Yes, it is. So now we can go ahead and secure it down with this screw. And one thing I didn't do on the other Dualshock was add this tape. I don't think I need to. Actually, no, we're not. We're not gonna use tape. So we can pop everything back into place now. We'll slot this down here, rubber pads on top, and then we have the locking mechanism right here. Now we can continue on assembling the rest of it. So we'll plug this ribbon cable back into the main controller board, and then make sure the triggers are good to go first. Okay, everything's good, feels good. Let's plug in a charger and see if the light shows up. And there we go. It is charging, and not a lot of give either. It's pretty good. And these are the two controllers that we went ahead and modded with USB-C, and they both charge. I'll go ahead and put a clip of me using an actual PlayStation 4 to see how it syncs and everything as well. This extra screw is just from the little stud that I broke in here, but it's not necessary. It still works fine. Alright guys, that was a very quick and easy upgrade you can do to your DualShock 4 controllers to make them a little more modern. I guess the next step in this would be to either replace the shell or upgrade the battery to make it longer, but if I have USB-C, I'm not too concerned. I usually always have a USB-C charger around. So let me know what you guys think. I know some people love DualShock 4s and they use them a lot, and this is just a nice way, especially if you play on PC, to have it a little more convenient than having a micro USB. Also, I know it doesn't look the nicest. If I had a Dremel and even maybe a 3D printer, you can just cut out this whole little rectangular area here and then 3D print a spot for USB-C. So easy to take out and fix if you need to, but definitely worth the look. So I'll drop the link to the website that I got these from. Just make sure you guys are getting the right model for the controller. If you like the video, drop a like. If you want to see more videos in the future, consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.